Are dating apps like Tinder and Hinge even worth it? Research says there's a surprising long-term effect to meeting online. Once considered a bit strange and even taboo, online dating has since come a long way. According to a 2023 study by Pew Research Center, 30% of U.S. adults have used a dating app or site at some point in their life, and 10% of U.S. adults can thank online dating for their current relationship. And even though dating apps have long been associated with hookup culture, the same study found that 44% of people use them in the hopes of finding a long-term partner.
We just met on Tinder.
But because online dating services only really started gaining popularity after Match.com was introduced in the mid-90s, the effect of it on long-term relationships hasn't been examined until recently. Back in 2013, one study of more than 19,000 people in relationships found that those who met their partner online were not only less likely to divorce, but also generally happier with their relationship than those who met in the real world. Nearly a decade later, research published in the Journal of Communication and Research suggested that this may be related to how intimacy develops via internet communication. People who meet online more often than not are put in situations where geographic location plays a role in separating them. So they're more likely to talk about issues and disclose certain facts before meeting up in real life. That's something that those without dating apps don't do. The study's leader, Arizona State University professor Liesl Sharabi, explained to ASU News, "You don't have to worry that you're going to be 6 months into a relationship and just then learn something that is a deal breaker."
What are your dislikes?
People's knees.
Oh, come on,
Bro,
dude, come on!
You know what? We'll just make it all up.
As the study confirmed, it's this level of openness that ultimately leads to more marital satisfaction, because where there's communication, happiness tends to follow. However, it may be worth taking all of the positives about intimacy with a grain of salt. A separate study led by Professor Sharabi, published in a January 2024 edition of Computers and Human Behavior, delivered nearly opposite results. This study concluded that couples who met online actually had less satisfying marriages than those who married someone they met offline. Taking into account Sharabi's previous research that suggested couples who met online had greater levels of intimacy, these newer findings suggest that may not be entirely true, or at least have as much of a positive impact on long-term happiness as once thought. Although the reason why couples reported less satisfaction couldn't exactly be determined, it's believed that societal marginalization, meaning how some people still judge online dating, could play a role. Another potential reason is that the two people in the relationship feel like they can easily be replaced because of the accessibility that dating apps provide. Professor Sharabi told SciPost, "We identified one reason, which is the stigma surrounding online dating, but there could be other explanations as well. For instance, we know people benefit from having more options in online dating, but that may also threaten the long-term stability of relationships by making them feel more disposable."
Can you just marry us instead?
Jeff, don't do it!
Richard. Maggie!
Running bird!
In 2012, researchers at the University of Chicago conducted a study that found marriages that were the product of online dating had lower divorce rates. According to the findings published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, these rates were 6% for people who had met online and 7.6% who met offline. While these aren't huge differences in percentages, it does say something about the possible benefits of online dating when it comes to long-term relationships. The study's lead author, John Cacioppo, told UChicago News, "Marital outcomes are influenced by a variety of factors. Where one meets their spouse is only one contributing factor, and the effects of where one meets one's spouse are understandably quite small and do not hold for everyone." According to another study published in 2020 by PLOS ONE, people who meet online are more likely to want to move in with their partner than those who meet offline. While analyzing survey data from 2018 regarding the behavior and practices of dating app users, researchers found that online daters had stronger cohabiting intentions. The researchers also found that women on these apps had stronger fertility desires and intentions compared to those who partnered offline. Ultimately, all the study's authors admit that there needs to be more research on the subject, and of course, no one finding is indicative of every relationship that starts online or offline. More than anything, these studies prove that there's no right way to meet someone for a long-term relationship. So, you do you when it comes to finding love. It's your journey after all.